All right.
I see.
Hello, Basile. Hello.
Good.
I've
Sorry about that.
started it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. If we don't go on my Zoom, then it'd be difficult to go live in the group. So
makes sense. Totally. I'm sorry about that. I was in an errand, so I just got in exactly at time.
I figured you'd be busy, so not a problem. All right, we are live.
Okay, good.
Brilliant. Basile, I'm happy to have you here, mate. I'm happy to have you here. So you're going to be speaking about networking and making networking as easy as driving.
Yes.
But I'm keen to ask you also, while you do that, to add in networking from a perspective of also connecting, making friends, interacting with people. Right? Because that's what networking is, yes?
Yeah. Well, we here talk about
so just add that. Second.
Can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, this it's a broad subject. It's a lot used in business, but it can also be used in life. I got into it because I found out that it was not codified. People are having trouble with it. So that's what I went ahead and sorted out so it can be easy, literally like driving a car.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. The reason I want to add in the connection to making friends is because in our group, it's not a business-focused group, which is normally where you hear of networking. But what they are focused on is self-improvement, self-awareness, self-discovery. And part of that is obviously learning how to interact and connect with other people, making friends, chatting, talking, communicating, etc. And that's all, of course, a part of networking, right? Networking is just a term that's used in a broader, more business context. But on a personal level, networking is making friends. Yes?
Absolutely. It's apply more to life because as one of my quote is, the quality of your life is proportionate to the quality of your networking.
There you go. So again, you could say the quality of your life is proportional to the quality of your friends. Yes?
That is correct too. That's true too.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, I want to focus on this networking as the same thing as making friends. It's no different. Yes. It just has more connectivity to the group.
Yes, definitely.
So tell us more.
There are two cardinal rules of networking. They are one, be interested, and two, always put your personal interest last.
Interesting. Can you repeat that, please? That's a big deal, what you just said.
Absolutely, yeah. So there are the two cardinal rules. Each science, each subject has its cardinal rules. The two cardinal rules of networking are one, be interested, and two, always put the personal interest last.
Yes. Be interested. Yes. And with being interested, what I have seen where folks go wrong with this, they take this to be something as in, that this is something that you can put on and sort of pretend to be interested, and you just got to show interest. No, that's not what this means. It doesn't mean show interest. Be interested means be interested for real. Actually, really, sincerely be interested. Right?
Yeah. Yes. The key to interest is sincerity.
It's not faking this. There's no pretending. Go ahead.
Yeah, the key to when we say interest, the key to that really is sincerity. It's not something you can fake or what have you. If you're faking it, you become interesting. So you have to be really sincerely interested for you to be able to apply that rule.
Yeah. Exactly. And then put yourself last. That's a hard rule for most people. Can you elaborate on that, please, Basile?
Yeah, it is really key because when you meet people, okay, uh, they pick up something from you that you, before even you say a word, they pick up an impression, a perception, or what have you. So the question is, are you thinking about getting something or are you thinking about helping them? If they
Exactly.
perceive that when
Exactly.
you're talking to them, it's about you getting something for them, or they're helping you, or they're doing something for you, it doesn't fit really in the framework of networking.
Yeah.
To properly network, you dare to give a hand people. And then in return, they'll give you a hand. But actually, to dominate in the field of networking, you don't expect anything.
Yes. 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 And that having no expectations is huge. This applies not just in networking, but in everything. If you have an
Absolutely.
expectation, it can sometimes be perceived as a demand. And when you go around demanding things, that's not going to get you very far. Right?
Yeah, or it come across as being calculated. You get what I'm saying? I'm giving this to you because I expect you to do something for me tomorrow. That's not what we're talking. That's not what it is. So it's really give to give because you see there's a need, you see something needs to be done, you jump on and take care of it. You're not expecting anything back.
Yes.
We say a lot, what goes around, come around. People say that, but do they believe it is the question.
Exactly. And to apply it, which means if you're going to say what goes around comes around, you have to be prepared to wait. And more importantly, to do it without expectations. What goes around comes around is misinterpreted sometimes by people as, well, what you put out, you're going to get back. Yes, in a way, but then they see it in a mercenary way to say, well, I'm going to be nice to everybody, and that means they're going to be nice to me. No, that's a contract. That's not giving, truly giving. It's not true sharing. That's a demand again. Anytime you do something with an expectation of a return, a reward, it's a contract. And when people feel they are being put into a contract which they are not a party to, now it's manipulation. Yes?
That is correct. Absolutely.
And you want to avoid this at all costs. This is no good. Yeah. Very cool. Keep going. Very cool. Basile, I like to repeat back what you say. So yes, I put it in my own words, but it's part of how I do my programs and part of how the participants do my programs, because it checks and demonstrates that I'm actually hearing what you are saying. Correct?
Excellent. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, definitely.
So it's a most excellent networking mechanism because you are actually paying attention and you aren't just repeating the words, word for word, like, the husband that the wife says, oh, what did I say? And he repeats the last words, but he hasn't been listening. He's just repeating it, right? So there's when you can say it in your own words, not only do you truly demonstrate that you understand or not, and then the person can adjust, but also you demonstrate that you are giving the most precious gift there is. That's attention, time and attention, right? You're paying attention. You actually listening. And also for yourself, you get to know that you take it in, that you actually get what they say.
Yes.
You understand. Now, that doesn't mean that I agree. It just means I understand. Yes?
Yeah, it's absolutely. You are correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The way I explain it to people, I say, take the farmer. The farmer sows seeds, and then he pour water and take care of it. And then he knows that in due time he'll get his crop.
Yes.
That's networking to a degree is that. Now, when you sow the seed, when the farmer sow the seed, he doesn't go and make a mark and next year and come on back and say, I put a seed over here. I need to get something back. No. He just sow and he knows he'll get his harvest. Same thing. The person that you help may not necessarily be the one that do something for you.
Exactly. We don't always know where it's going to come from. Simply do. And, life is going to take care of you. This is it. When you have no expectations like that and you are doing because it's the right thing to do, you're doing it for a pure reason. And this is a very, very, very potent mechanism and a subject very dear to my heart. Because as you know, my main program is the way of impeccability. And that's exactly what impeccability is. It's doing it because it's right, not right in a moral sense, but right according to you and your own conscience. You've thought about it, you've been diligent, you've been scrupulous, you've been thorough, you've made sure it's all appropriate, you've paid due respect to everything, you're using your energy in the best possible way. Fine, I'm being impeccable. That's it. No expectations except the joy of being impeccable, that you can live with yourself in peace. Yes,
exactly.
I mean, it's taking what you're saying a little bit further. I'm repeating it back, but adding a little extra as well. Yeah, impeccability is very potent, very potent. Yeah. So it's not being right, as in being correct or not making a mistake. You can make impeccable mistakes. That happens all the time. But when you make a mistake and you've been impeccable, you don't have regrets. You don't have worries. You don't have stress because, hey, you did what your best at the time. You could do no more, and you're at peace with that. So, before you find out the result, you can go free on your way without doubts because you've done your impeccable best. And when the thing does go FUBAR, well, hey, sorry, I'm not happy that it went this way, but okay, so be it. And so you have no regrets. Being in a situation where your decisions are without doubts and without regrets, this is an incredible way to live. So what you are saying, if I take it just a little bit further and connect it to impeccability, is very, very, very potent. Just do your thing, do it, be appropriate, be right according to yourself, and life will take care of you. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's as someone said, the highest motivation is duty. You do it because it needs to be done. Then you do it, not because it brings you something or because. You get what I'm saying? Yes. So that's really the highest. And once you've done it, you've done your job, as you put it, prior to saying it, exactly that's what it is. And that ties in with put your personal interest last. Are you doing it because it needs to be done, or are you doing it because you're going to get something out of it?
Yes. Do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
But right according to you.
Yes.
Not right according to society or to your grandma or your Uncle Fred or your school teacher or whoever. No. To hell with them. They may have a point, but you've got to decide if you're living according to their right, whose life are you living? Not living your own, you're living somebody else's life, right? So you can only do what's right according to your conscience, to your heart, to your sensibility, and you've got to be able to sign off on it. If you do what's right and you say, well, okay, and you sort of fight it, and you kind of say, well, I don't make an effort to look and research more. This is convenient right now. That ain't going to fly either. Your conscience is going to know you were fighting it and you were being lazy and squirrely. It doesn't work. You can't run from your conscience. So you got to do what's right according to you deep inside and be able to sign off on it. No problem. Sign off on it. This is it. I'll stand behind this. If the world blows up because of this, well, too bad. Something interesting on this. It's a favorite point, and just coming in here. But when I've seen in my experience, when people have been impeccable and things go completely a mess. Let's say, for instance, they've really been impeccable and they lose their job because of whatever they did. Yes, or whatever. Almost every time I've seen that if the people don't get stressed by it and don't get caught up in a bubble and get all bothered and bent out of shape by it, if they stay open, they start to notice, oh my goodness, wow, new opportunities are coming my way. I'm on a new path. New things happen. I never, ever would have thought this. But because of this thing, I ended up in something else that I never would have thought of. So you can think of impeccable mistakes. I call them fortuitous mistakes as basically jumping the tracks. Yes, taking a path that you had no clue even existed. You could not have been on that path if it wasn't for your fortuitous mistake. So sometimes we need to make mistakes. This is the magic of impeccable mistakes. And they put you in that. They jump tracks. I see it time and time again. I ask people too, when they've had big calamities where they were impeccable, they say, what came of it? Especially long time afterwards. They say, I didn't see it at the time, but later I clicked and realized that, it was fantastic. And I ended up in my dream job, whatever. So, one of the guests that came on Facebook Live, Felicia, she said this, she was let go from her job and then she ended up in doing what she really enjoys doing. So what's passionate for. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Anyway, keep going, keep going, keep going. I get sidetracked because it's such a powerful topic. Just this one thing can change everything. So if you know, in what you were recommending, be sincere. In other words, be sincere is what you're saying. Both in being interested and putting yourself last. That's being genuine, being real, being sincere. You can't go wrong. It's awesome. Yeah. And you combine that with impeccability. In other words, being thorough and scrupulous and diligent and making best use of your energy, giving everything due respect. Man, got the winning recipe, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. And from there, you won't have a problem with relationships with people.
Yes. 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 No, you won't. You won't. Exactly. Exactly. Because you are now operating and sharing from a point that you feel comfortable with. Because it's right to you in your heart. You're comfortable with it. Doesn't matter if other people might, it's right according to you. And this you're prepared to stand behind. So that gives you courage. Yes?
Yeah. Absolutely. As you say, no regret. And after that, you don't have to worry about what happened in the past because you did the best you could do given the circumstances. Yeah.
Exactly. 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 Now, talking about best, see, you make my mind jump a little bit here. I'm a friend or also a participant of, he's already done the program. It's just involved. We talk a lot. We're on Zoom a lot. So she's doing an art as a path to inner schooling. That's the name of a course that she's doing. So long, it's a year-long course. So obviously there's some art involved in it. So she was doing a painting, and she was like, she was doing a painting, and I don't know, she wasn't thinking along these lines, but somewhere it came up about doing your best. And I said, no, do not do your best. He says, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why can you not do your best? I said, well, your best was your last painting. Your next painting is going to be better than your last one. So it's going to be better than your best. If you're always aiming for your best, you just aim at your last best result. Yeah. So we want to aim for what's better than our best. That way we are learning and growing by definition. If we're learning and growing, we improve, and an improvement is better than your best. So don't try and do your best, do better than your best. Yes. Just by the way, you do your best at the time, yes, but it's a nuanced point, but it's an important point to remember, because I see so many people get stuck in their best. If your best is something that you're thrilled with and it's appropriate and it's working now, not everything is like painting. And also with painting, there's no real good or bad, everything is good pretty much. But still, the idea is be careful of limiting yourself with an idea that your best is fixed. Yes?
Absolutely. One of my favorite architects, Frank Lloyd Wright, very famous.
Yes, Frank, yeah.
Yes, and he used to say, they'll ask him, Frank, what is your favorite work? He said, my next one. Exactly.
Always. Exactly. There's always a movement. There's always a growth. I saw a quote by Tom Brady. I think he was 42 at the time, right? He's still playing, the quarterback, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, at 40, he's 40 plus. He's the oldest quarterback. He won the Super Bowl in his 40s. I mean, this is just something remarkable, right? The guy's absolutely at the top of his game. There's no other quarterback ever bat like him. But a reporter asked him something about his age and playing. He said, but I'm just now beginning to learn. I'm just starting to get stuff. I'm just now beginning to learn, he says. It's really starting to fall into place. I'm starting to get it. He was so excited about this learning aspect. And this was, I think he was 41 or 42 at the time. This is it. And you can take anybody who's really gotten into and had real success in what they do. They're always like this. They're always learning. It's the learning, not the other stuff. It's the learning that matters. Doesn't matter the success. It's the learning that matters. They want to be good at what they do, not for fame, and some of them for fame, yes. But the ones who are really, really into it, they do it because it's a passion, because it's a necessity.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off track with a little bit with networking. But like you said, it's very simple, right? There's not much to it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So please elaborate some more. Please expand some more on it. Just recap.
Yeah. the definition of society, whichever way you spin it, is human being and their relationships. That's the basic fundamental definition of society. And networking sits on top of it. Meaning if people understand networking, this improves their relationships. Okay.
Just responding to somebody there. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
In one's life, one of the biggest challenge, the daily challenge, is the relationship with the people around one.
Yes.
That is the big familial, social, business-wise, the biggest challenge. If you care to analyze what gives you the most stress for everything, it's not even the work or anything or whatever we do. It's the connection, the relationships with the people around us.
Yes.
If you have a smooth relationship with them, then actually, that's what I say, the quality of your life is proportional to the quality of your networking.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
If you have a smooth relationship, you get there's even younger, that'll be happier in your life. But if it's tension and pressure all the time, you can wind up with a very miserable life.
Yes, 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 very, 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 very. Yes. Yes.
You know, it's so to point that you can think of a business partner, or you can think of family member, you can think of an associate. What is that relationship? Your attention goes there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's smooth, nothing, you don't have attention there. It's happening, you're not worried about it. But if your attention is stuck with this, and then another one is stuck, and then another one is stuck, another one is stuck, it's like you mentally, you're not well.
Yes, exactly. You're not. If you don't have good relationships, it's going to make you unwell in a hurry. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And if these are people you are interacting with day in, day out, it's even worse. It's one thing to have a problem with somebody that maybe you meet once a month, or maybe they are over there, you're over here. But if it's around you, which is the definition of society, human being and their relationships,
yes.
If those relationships are not handled properly, you're going to have a very tough life, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So in terms of having good relationships, what do you recommend? What can people do to improve those relationships, to make them fluid, to make them solid, to make them really be potent and valuable and nice and good and fun, etc.? Let me say hi to Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl said, yes, there's always a reason, a purpose, and a plan. I'm counting on it. Yes, Cheryl. Yes, yes, yes. It's staying open and looking for the alternatives, looking for what's not obvious. That's important. You know, when with fortuitous mistakes, that's what she was commenting on. Mm-hmm. Keep going. So what would you recommend in terms of strategies and techniques that members can use when it comes to?
It's too easy, way easier that it easily gets skipped. And it is this: try to do to others what you want done to you. Try not to do to others what you do not want done to you.
Yeah. The golden rule has been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I want to add one thing. In life, you don't want to react. You want to act. Yes.
Initiate.
Because things happen which you cannot control. Somebody can come and yell at you, and then this can happen, whatever. The most important thing, or the problem, is not that they yell at you or they insult you or they do this to you. The most important thing is, how are you going to act in return?
Yeah.
You can dismiss it, not make a big deal for it, or you can sit there and say, oh my God, they yell at me. What did I do? And whatever. I got that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where lies your power. Your power is taking it and deciding to not make the most of it or handle it to a point where it does not take all your attention, don't become a problematic. And in fact, if somebody comes and insults you, you just say, okay, I got it. I understand that that's your viewpoint on who I am, and carry on. That ends the whole thing.
Yeah.
They don't have anything else to do, because you say, I understand that you have that viewpoint about me. I totally understand that.
Exactly.
But if you sit there and say, no, I do it, you too, and now you're building, fomenting that that thing they're going to sit there, that issue, they're going to grow. As opposed to, you could have, that's why I say don't react, because the tendency will be to do something or to react in kind. No, in this time you act, you use reasons.
Yeah.
And just tell someone, hey, I totally respect that viewpoint. I understand that way you think of me. I got it.
Yes.
I totally understand. And then move on. Well, guess what? That person may even change and start coming, you know, I shouldn't have said that or whatever. But you have the power to put things where they belong, so they don't eat up your attention or your life.
Yes, yes. I like to say, the moment you shoot back, you legitimize this person's shooting at you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's it. Now it's they legitimized. Now it's valid that they were shooting at you. No, of course it's not. But if you shoot back, then in their mind, well, now I have to shoot back at you shooting back at me, because otherwise I'm going to get shot. Mm-hmm. So now you have to continue shooting. There's no other option. But if you didn't shoot back in the first place, that changes everything. So it's a very, very powerful thing. Obviously, with shooting is a different thing, but you know, when it comes to like arguing and all this, you know, people get stuck on being right and wrong, but you can just throw those two out the window. Focus on understanding. Yeah, right and wrong are going to lead you astray, and who knows what the hell right and wrong is? They change all the time. So focus on understanding. Then you just leave all of that. You don't end up in a battle. When you're trying to understand, you're both on the same side, right? You're both trying to understand. Very simple, very powerful, very, very powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a fun story in this way, you know, if somebody's giving you a hard time and they're shouting, give you, and you don't fight back. At the it was, I think, the IRS, one of the big bureaucracies, right? So going into the bureaucracy and whatever, you know, and you know, at some point in time when you've got to do something complicated, because that was something that took every bureaucrat, go here, go there, everywhere. Anyway, so you know, at some point you're going to get things completely wrong, and you're going to get a bureaucrat mad at you. So I come to this lady and she starts scolding me like crazy. And I said, yes, you're right. Just like that. The whole thing just collapsed. She said, what do you mean? I said, no, you're right. She didn't know what to do. And then she said, oh, sorry. I'm so used to people giving me a hard time and giving me that, you know. I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't know. So, but it completely turned her around. And she was so thankful. You know, everybody's always fighting with me. So you know, she was being preemptive, in other words, expecting the response. I said, oh, you're right. You didn't know what to do at first. So it's powerful, you know, just be real. You don't have to fight with everybody. You don't have to fight with everybody. But you know, it's a subtle point. And this came earlier today with one of the participants. And they're doing a program called Capitalistic Diplomacy. Now we're taking this whole thing to another level, of course. And she said there was a situation that involved being right and being wrong, and the other parties were clearly and very obviously wrong. Mm-hmm. I said, but being right is not always enough. You got to go further. Why? Because if you prove that you're right, you're going to collapse the entire world, because this was now going to defang their power. You're going to remove their power. And of course, if you say, well, you're wrong in your job and you can't be doing a job, you shouldn't be here. Well, now they're out of a job, and well, they're not very competent people in the first place. So now they fear for their survival, and forget it. You're bringing a lot of baggage to this. Forget about being right. Just because you are right doesn't mean you have to prove that you're right. The worst thing you can do in this case is prove that you're right. Mm-hmm. Work on understanding what's going on. See their fears. Yes, they feel threatened. The authority is threatened. That's a legitimate stress for them. Now, you might have a point where they were messed up and they were a bit inefficient in making this whatever thing they did that was wrong. So what? You know, sometimes you got to step beyond right and wrong. But here's the key point, though. So the person was thinking about this, and they said, yes, you know, my whole life I've been focusing on doing what's right and standing up for being right and standing up against being wrong. This is what I was taught. This is what makes me a good person. In their upbringing, in their education, never did they encounter this concept of diplomacy, at least not in the context that I'm using. It's why it's called capital D diplomacy. You know, it's on a personal level. You're not a diplomat. And she's applying it to herself, as in self-diplomacy. It's like, wow, this is a whole other way of thinking. You aren't stuck in right and wrong. And just because I'm not standing up for what is right doesn't make me a bad person. It actually makes me even a more good person, because I'm looking beyond, I'm being considerate, I'm really being kind, I'm being generous, etc. So I'm being impeccable too, of course. So it's a big deal, this, not to get stuck in right or wrong. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. As you said, it's about using the judgment.
Exactly.
It's not about I'm right or wrong. It's what is that create harmony around you.
Yes.
We're not trying to be somewhere else, but hey, is that like you got to show yourself or confirm, or let them have a win? They say this is what it is. They say so be it. Let it go. And they're happy, and then you move on. Then you have a better relationship with them. In fact, if you do that, they will be more inclined to come to your view, as opposed to battling you.
Exactly. Communication, real communication is a discussion. And, discussion is like my background. You move around something and you work in closer, and then eventually you get into that center point, right? But communication, I love to say, is a haphazard business. That's it. Communication is not very clear. If you look at internet communications, most people don't know this, but every message, it gets sent to the other side, and then it gets sent back, and then there's another message that gets back and said, yes, we received the message the way we sent it, and it's correct. So you did receive it correctly, right? So everything is checked and double checked, because they know communication is a haphazard business. But we don't do this, which is why I like to do the repeat backs. All right, I add in a little bit sometimes, but the repeat backs are very powerful, because now you know that what you've said, I've actually heard, right? You might ask me, do I understand? I say, yes. And I go and tell my friend, Basile said this, and I say something completely different, right? And you say, no, that's not what I said. But so if you worked with kids, you know this, right? It's astonishing. They think they understand, but they don't have a clue. So we always have to check. And we can fool ourselves by thinking we understand. So I like to check. Basile, just to jump a little bit here. Let me ask you, in terms of somebody saying, you know what, I am keen to network a little bit more. But how do I go about this? I understand what you're saying. Be real, be genuine, be interested. Don't be pushing your own stuff. I understand this. I get it. But I don't really interact with anybody. I don't know where to go. So where would I go to network?
Well, you mean the place where you network, or improving your networking skills?
No, the place you go. Because let's say they say, I get it. I understand what you're saying about I want to go and practice my skills. Okay, kind of, I have this, I'm a genuine person. So, but I don't know where to go,
Okay, depending on where you are, most areas of a certain amount of connections have association, clubs, meetups online, where you can go to meetup.com and find groups in your area.
Say that again, meetup.com? What
meetup,
is that?
MEETUP, meetup.
MEET? Yeah.
UP, meetup.
Meetup.com. Sorry. I heard it in a whole different way. Okay. Yeah.
So meetup.com is where you can go and find meeting in your areas, or find group of people in an area of interest of yours.
Yeah. No, I know of meetup.com. Sorry, it sounded like with an R in there, so I heard something else entirely. Yeah.
Good.
Meetup.com. Yes. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Yeah, different association groups. I would just say, look, organization, go online, look, organization in my area. Or if you have a specific area you're interested, it can be organization having to do with florists, organization having to do gardens, or whatever. And that way you can find, there is the very much known Rotary Club, Kiwane, Lions, and all those. These are club of people who do civic work also.
Yes. This Rotary, Lions Club, yes, round table, all that kind of stuff. Yes. Those are slightly different. Yes, the networking is a very big part, but they also do charitable works and that. So yeah,
absolutely.
Whereas meetup is strictly just for meeting.
Yes. So, and as you go there, I'm sure those people also will indicate, you can ask them about other groups or places, and they'll point out to you. It's really, quote unquote, a network, because they're different organizations, and most people are part of some kind of an organization, church, trades, and whatever. There is a whole lot going on the planet,
Yes.
really.
Yes. Any activity that has a club to it or a grouping, a swimming club, that's it. That's anything that's a club. As soon as you become a member of that club, that's it. Now it's networking, it's connecting. This is it.
Yes.
Very simple. In today's world, a major part of networking is online in gaming.
Yes.
Yeah, if you play games, you join a guild. Well, what is a guild? It's a club, it's a group. And, you get involved with the guild and, you help out a little bit. People get to know you. That's it, You'll be surprised. I've seen so much networking happen inside those guilds. And if you actually look at the statistics, you'll be astonished at how many people get married because of online.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, it's a big deal. Actually, it's such a big deal that most of the games will have areas set aside in the game, and they've got ministers, and you can go and buy outfits, wedding outfits. It's a big deal. So people get married inside the game.
Wow.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Yes. Wow. Exactly. It's huge. I mean, the statistics aren't just a few people. This is it's a big percentage. So yeah. So networking is powerful because, of course, when you're doing something that you're passionate about, you connecting with people who are passionate about the same thing, and this makes for easy connectivity. And you want to connect with them, and they want to connect with you because you're both passionate about the same thing. It's like very duh. So don't go and join a swimming club if you have no interest in swimming.
That's right.
Do things that you're interested in, and you'll meet people that are similar to you. And now, just because people have an interest in, let's say, ladybugs, that don't mean that they work with ladybugs. They may be a plumber, they may be a accountant, whatever. People come from different works of life, have these different interests. And this is the magic of networking, because you don't always want people who are exactly doing the same thing. You want to connect to a broader scope. Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I mean, the bottom line is, just kind of put yourself out there a little bit. You don't have to be the life of the party and all this. No, you can just join and be a member and just hang around. And, after a while, people are going to get to know you. Simply show up. That's all. You don't have to necessarily even do stuff or initiate. Most clubs, people will connect with you after a while, unless you now obviously, putting up signs like, hey, don't talk to me. But, they'll ask, hey, what's up? And then, you just respond. It's very simple, very, very simple. It doesn't have to be a stressful thing. I'm trying to share it with people who are a little shy, a little bit awkward. Yeah, but, I don't know anything. It doesn't matter that you don't know anything. What you have, whether you know anything or not about whatever the activity is, what you have is interest. And you have time and you have attention. And those are precious. Those are precious. Anybody who's got time and attention, that's it. And sometimes people just want company. Come do the quest with me. All right, let's go, whatever. Just want company. It doesn't matter whether you know anything or not. You can be a complete noob and they can be a veteran for 10 years playing the game. They don't care. They just want somebody along. They just want company. So, just be company. That's all. You don't have to say or do anything. Just hang around.
That's right.
Very simple way, very basic networking, but it's still networking. You build up a relationship, and after a while, they get to know you, they get to trust you, they get to see how you are, that, you're not always complaining or moaning or whatever. Nobody wants people like that, so, right?
That is correct.
Yes. Yeah. Don't fall into that trap. You hear people complain all the time, and they make it sound like it's the coolest thing ever, but, look closely, and people tend to avoid it. Yeah, it's simple stuff. Like I said, networking made easy as driving. It's very, very simple, right? 2 rules. Will you repeat those for us again, please, Basile?
Yeah. 1, be interested. And 2, always put the personal interest last.
There you go. We have somebody that joined and says, I'm a self-advocate. Yeah. You got to advocate for yourself, correct? Yes. Yeah. If you don't, nobody else will, right? Yes, exactly. Just speak your truth quietly and clearly. That's all you need to do. You don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to get it on a microphone. Just be yourself. Be real. Don't be a phony. Yeah. Always, the people who connect are the ones that are just real. Yes, you got people that, that are very outgoing and gregarious and all this. but you don't have to be that way. Yes,
No.
we think that's the way to be because those people make a big fuss of it, some of them. But no, really pay attention. You'll see many people are connecting. They don't do that. So find your own style is what I'm trying to say. Find your own style. Find your own
That's
style.
correct.
Yes. So hello, Karinda. I'm glad you joined us. Very cool. Anyway, Basile, I just want to ask them there, anybody who's listening, a couple commented, but anybody who's listening, please, if you have any questions, just make a comment, drop them in comments there, and we'll respond to them. And that applies while we're live and afterwards as well. We always respond to the comments, so yeah, please do. All right, so Elizabeth Entrusted is hanging out with us. So yes. Very cool, Elizabeth. I love it. Let me ask you also, Basile. So when it comes to networking, do you teach networking as well?
Yes, I do.
And how does that work?
We have a 5-week class that we offer. That's one program. We also offer 6-month coaching. And then I also offer a 1-year program.
Wow, that's very intensive. And what does that involve?
Basically, we cover the different aspects of networking. And naturally, it's more guided to our business.
Correct.
We teach people, there's 5 points that we cover. We have 5 pillars: the correct mindset, defining your client, how to talk to them, how to follow up, and how to close.
Wow. Very cool. Let me ask you something. So yes, obviously this is business, and some people in the group obviously do business as well, and it applies to them. It doesn't mean it doesn't apply to everybody. But I do want to ask you an interesting question.
Okay.
If you take those 5 points and you say, what if the client is me? How would you apply it then?
Like you as a client?
No. I mean, not me personally, but say, okay, I'm listening to you, Basile, but I'm interested in learning to really connect and network with myself. So I'm going to treat myself as the client and take those 5 principles and apply them to me. I'm going to apply them to myself. See what I mean? I'm going to network with myself.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
so I'm going to use it as a self-discovery, as a self-awareness tool.
Okay. Gotcha. I think that the key fundamental point for the individual is this. One of the things that we create and worked out was, which I never seen anywhere, is the purpose of networking. The purpose of networking is to create acceptance.
Is to create what?
Acceptance.
The purpose of networking is to create acceptance.
Yes. And by acceptance, we mean favorable reception. Meaning after you talk to somebody, that person should say, oh, Sil is a great person. If he can help me, he would.
Favorable reception, yes.
Yes, that would be the end result. It's not knowing your name, knowing what you do, or none of that.
Yes.
It is they're thinking, oh, Sil is a great person. If he could help me, he would. Yes. That is the goal of networking. Then you can follow up with telling them your name, your company, or whatever. Yes. Okay. So as it comes to the individual name, we say the purpose of it is to create acceptance. Here is where it comes in play for you as an individual, which is what we teach in the class. Before you create acceptance, you have to accept yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. See, now we're talking. Now we're talking. This is what our group is all about. Yes. Self-awareness, self-improvement, self-discovery. Of course, part of that is self-acceptance as well. Yes. Huge. Yes. Before self-acceptance, you have to acknowledge yourself. Then you accept. Then you can self-appreciate. Yes.
Yes. So if that is done, the rest roll. The problem is when you haven't accepted yourself, and then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yes.
One of the examples I give my class is there is this guy, everybody know him. His name is Muhammad Ali. He got the famous boxer, Muhammad Ali. He got the Parkinson's disease. Now,
Yes.
if you can think about it, the other participants, I'm sure people were telling me, don't go in public, stay hide, don't show yourself, because it was like this, you know. I'm sure that people didn't. Well, the heck, he decided that the Parkinson disease was not going to define him.
Yes, yes.
He was on TV,
Yes.
going everywhere and what have you. Okay. Now, because he accepted himself, people accepted him.
Yes.
So much so that the 1996 Olympic Games, they went and asked him if he would carry the torch, the final torch.
Yes, I remember, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So nobody knew that he was going to be there. Nobody expected him because of the health condition or what have you, but people accepted. They knew what they wanted to have him, he accepted. So he goes, and when he appeared, the entire stadium goes crazy.
Yes. Yes. We
So
cannot be defined by our limitations. Exactly.
Yes. So this is a case of somebody who accepted himself. So therefore, the entire audience, and then worldwide, people embrace him because he accepted himself.
Exactly. Yeah. Many people like that. You know, now we don't have to have a very obvious something that is a limitation. We all have them in us in some way or another. Yes. I mean, every time I see a bird fly by, I say, man, I can't fly. Yeah. So we're all limited in one way or another, right?
That's correct.
It just depends, right? But when I go inside myself, man, I can make a list for you of my limitations, but I don't let that define me. Yes. They are simply opportunities to learn. They're not limitations. They're opportunities to learn or opportunities to work around. You know, some things, fine. You know, I can't do it. I'll find another way. I do something else. You know, you don't have to be defined by your limitations. Very important. Right. Another good one, person who, for Parkinson's, Michael J. Fox. I just mentioned because not everybody remembers Muhammad Ali, you know, a little bit. So Michael J. Fox, a bit more contemporary. It's probably, you know, people that are more. But, you know, he's still acting, he's still out there, he's still alive, you know, he's still doing stuff, you know, he's still around in big time. So, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. When you really understand people inside, you realize that, wow, you know, pretty much everybody's got a limitation in some way. You know, Cher, the singer, Cher, she is thoroughly dyslexic, you know, really, yeah, big time. And John Travolta, another one, I believe. There's tons of them. You know, it tends to go together at least in Hollywood. You know, it just seems to be a part of the pattern now. Maybe they're doing this because they struggle to do things elsewhere. I don't know. But still, you know, it's very commonplace in Hollywood, dyslexia. So, and learning disabilities and stuff like this. So again, just, you know, when you know a little more now, of course, we know about those people and their lives are open, so these things come out. But I know from dealing with people, I work with people all my life or study people all my life, everybody's got some kind of a disability, you know, in some way or another. Everybody. That's it. Everybody. Yeah. Just the way the world works. So, you know, to me, it's like I said, I just see it as an opportunity to do things differently, to be creative, to be strategic, to be inventive. Yeah, and opportunities to learn as well. You know, sometimes we think it's a disability, and then we realize, well, I just thought so. You know, all I needed was a bit of practice. That's all, a bit of training. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not as terrible as we like to think it is. So anyway, carry on. Sorry, you were saying, so in terms of what you do, you have these different courses for the different people and you train them, yes?
Yes, we train them. So the first one is a 5-week course that we do over every week, 5 weeks for 1 hour. And then generally have a 3-day event where they get to practice over the weekend. They get to practice what they learn.
There you go.
And then after that, then we tell them what the 1-year program consists of. And if they want to sign up, they can sign up for that. Or they can sign up for the 6-month program that we offer.
Yeah. And where does this take place?
Online. It's all done online.
Yeah. And where they meet each other also online?
Yeah, they meet each other online. It depends on what program, depend on the different aspect of the program. Some they meet, some of them is coaching, some of them are conferences. We do 3 conferences a year as part of the big program, the 1-year program.
Very cool. Very cool. You know, talking about right and wrong earlier, what is practice? Capital P practice, very big deal in part of impeccability, huge deal. But isn't practice just consistently being wrong, wrong, wrong all the time?
Well, no, I wouldn't
I'm
say
making
that.
a bit of a joke out of it, right? But if you
No,
think
no,
about it, if I'm practicing my violin, you know, I'm looking to be better all the time, which means I realize that this is not the best. So I'm,
well,
in a sense, being wrong all the time. I'm,
well,
I'm making a joke out of it.
no,
But
I got it.
it
There is two
makes,
steps.
you know, practicing.
I would say there is two steps to that. Well, one of the fundamental of our program, we say we hear knowledge is power, or apply knowledge is power. We say correctly applied, correct knowledge is power.
Yes, 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 yes. Useless knowledge is useless knowledge, no matter how much you apply it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you have to have the number one, the correct knowledge. Number two, you have to apply it correctly. That's why we created the weekend activities where we can oversee their application.
Yes, yes. Got to check it. Got to test it. Got to test
Yes,
it.
gotta test it.
Approve.
So now that's
Very
one
good.
part. The second part is experience, like in anything.
Exactly.
Plan, do, review, plan, do, review, plan, do, review. That's how you hone in your skills.
Yeah. That's very interesting. I mean, you know, you're focused on networking as your end result, but to me, really, what you're doing is character training.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It is. You're right, because that's what came out at the end of 1 year. And interestingly, that's what came out with people. We have a lady who came to our program, and after a year, she said, "You know what? My whole life, I was doing what people wanted me to do. Now I'm going to do my own thing." And she started her own business.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I mean, that's what Wave Impeccability is. It's character training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just go directly to it and provide those. Because if you develop those strategies that deal with your character and those techniques for implementation, for application, for practice, for doing, you can do anything. Doesn't matter. You apply it because they're abstract conceptualities, and you can apply them to whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It doesn't
Yes.
matter. Very, very, very cool. Very, very cool. So keep going. If there's more, or other than that, you know, can wrap it up.
I guess that if the other thing that I offer for people who wanted to learn more, I offer complimentary consultation. 30
Excellent.
minutes. These are available. I'm going to type it over here in the chat.
Yeah, please. And then I'll copy it. I was about to ask you if they want to get hold of you, they want to contact you, they want to connect you. Where would they do that? I always like to ask for the links. Yes, so please share, and I'll put it in comments, and then I'll also add it to the top of the to the heading.
Absolutely, I'm writing it here. So that's the way, because we are all different. We have different strengths, different interests.
Yes.
So I created that.
Yeah.
All
right, there we go.
So I created that, so somebody can go there, schedule an appointment, then we get to talk, and then I can see if and how I can help them.
Okay. So this is to connect with Basile.
Yes.
No more, etc. All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Brilliant. Anything you'd like to add in closing, Basile?
In closing, I'll say you can dramatically change all your relationships, repeat all your relationships by doing this one thing: being sincerely interested.
Yes. Being sincerely interested. And that's
you show sincere interest in people, you change that relationship completely.
Yes. Awesome. Most fabulous. Thank you very much for coming, Basile. That was most excellent. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Much appreciated. Brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
Let me check before you go. Any questions? Nope, no questions. So this was great. Thank you very much, Basile. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sil. Much appreciated.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Anytime. Bye-bye.